Okay, you guys ready to get started into elements of time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I brought us back to the map. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about time. One of the things that's interesting is that time plays a role in everybody's life, but yet sometimes it's so standard we just figure that it's there. So elements of time is technically kind of like our scheduling and reservations and calendaring stuff. So I'm going to kind of highlight just elements of time right here. Okay, so this is kind of the piece of the map that we're talking about. What does it potentially connect to? Why would we put it at the bottom?
Because it connects to everything.
It's kind of a base piece, isn't it? Potentially. Okay, so technically every PO has dates. When did we get it? What was the final receive date? When did we verify it? When did we pay it off by? Like date, okay? On an invoice, does it have any dates? When was it created? How many payments did we get? What were their dates? Did I finally do some payroll and cut some commission on it? Did I date, okay? Expenses. So I got a bill, and it's in the mail, and I entered it into the system. Date 1, when did I get it, okay? Date 2, when's it due? Date 3, when did I pay it? Date 4, when did the bank see it? Like date, okay? Everything plays in dates, okay? That's why we kind of put it on the bottom here. What elements of time actually connects to is we can connect it to customers, users, vendors, or it's connected to a thing called FlexGrid, which then says I can connect it to expenses, deposits, tons of different things. Other balance sheet items, invoices, quotes, inventory pools, stock units, POs. Like, what we did ideally is these are the main connections. You know what? I might have a vendor that I need to schedule something with, okay? Or I might need to schedule a location. Or I might need to schedule a customer. Those were kind of the primary pieces that we thought, you know what? This is any person, place, or thing, okay? What's going in? That's kind of standard. We also tied it to FlexGrids, which we haven't even talked about, but FlexGrids allows me to connect to anything else as well. So elements of time is basically, I would say it's 1/3 of the way done where we want it to go. At this level right now, it goes way past a Google Calendar in a heartbeat, even on round 1. But what we want to do is we want to actually say, this is a business tool. Think of all the different things that you wanted to do. Santiago had, hey, what are my hot appointments, my warm appointments, my this, my that. Danny, what were some of your categories, do you remember, that you had for yours?
Quotes, opportunities,
follow-ups. Okay, cool. So what happens is instead of us naming these things called scheduling or rental or whatever, what we did is we're like, why don't we let you name them and then pick and choose what you want, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to actually switch back to the actual page, and we are going to go turn on some permissions. Because if I scroll down here to elements of time, I don't have anything turned on, okay? So let's go ahead and, however you want to get to your payees and permissions, I'd like you to get there so we can see your name. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on my name. The first thing I want to do is I want to be able to search by time. So I'm going to go to System Search. So this will actually load a little element into my quick search. Looks like my internet's just hanging for a second. Okay, I'm going to scroll down until I see time. I want time.
You searched by time?
No. Here's what it's going to do. Watch this right here, okay? Just to show you what this permission does, this is my quick search. I do not have the value of time in here, so I can't quick search on time yet, okay? But as soon as I say go to System Search, come down and add that, once I physically submit it, it'll then show up on my quick search, okay? So it's literally building what options I have right now. Then the next piece we need to do is go to this section called System Time and Requests. Now, because you guys are administrators, I would recommend that you go Basic and also Admin. If you do this one, this is a negative permission, okay? You do not want to do the silver one unless there's a specific need for somebody to just be the view-only level. Okay, we're going to go to the bottom of the page. So that was 3 permissions that we added. We're going to say edit the payee. And I'm going to go back to my home page. I'm currently set as my favorites as my home page. And if I come down to elements of time, I've got all the different little pieces now. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is from our main home page, we're going to jump into the sub home page, which is the elements of time home page. Currently, I have a totally blank calendar. Okay, those of you who are following along, what we're going to do is we're going to add our first little element of time just for fun, okay? What I want you to do is say, create new element of time. And once the screen pops up, we're going to go ahead and just hammer in something. So, this is from Brandon. I'm going to skip the notes. Just leave it exactly as is. Say add the item. Pretty simple. So I'm stalling for just a second because what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you as you guys are adding your elements of time, eventually we're going to come back here to the calendar, either elements of time homepage or the monthly calendar or whatever, and I want to show you what's going to show up. So if I click on monthly calendar and we find our date again, okay, so I added one, Danny added one, Deb added one, another Debbie, and dinner with mom and mother-in-law. Nice, nice. I want to see who did this one. Watch this. I'm going to click on this, number 5, and I'm going to come down here. Oh, Joe did this.
I'm staying at her house tonight.
Okay. Nice.
Down the street.
Nice. So we were just quickly playing, but did you see how quick we added 5 elements of time to that calendar? Watch this. Elements of time homepage. We find our day. Ah, somebody's expanding clear out a little ways. Okay. Perfect. Meeting with Bill. What does that say? Leprechaun. Okay. It's a leprechaun. Radio there, lad. On it. Okay, cool. So we basically, what I wanted to show you is that we quickly just added some elements of time to the piece of pie here. Can I show you another way to add some things that are kind of fun? Say I had an appointment next Friday at 10 o'clock. How would I do that?
Click on the calendar.
Okay, you can go right here. Watch this. Next Friday would be the 26th. I can go here. This is a basic ad. And I could say, super cool appointment or whatever with Johnny. And so check this out. It did get the 7/26, but it didn't get my date. I wanted to do it at 9 o'clock. Oh, man, I got to change that. 9 a.m. Brandon Green. Oh, let's add some notes. Just for fun, and add the element of time. Okay? So basically, at this point, if I go back to my monthly calendar, I did technically add where I wanted to, my super cool appointment with Johnny at 9 o'clock. But guess what? I did it from here. If I specifically wanted to go to an exact date and time, I would recommend that you use this little icon. Okay? Watch this. Say I wanted to do one for next Monday, the 22nd at 5 o'clock. Click. Come down to 5 o'clock. Click on 5 o'clock. And just say, testing, add it. Boom. Okay? It's ready to do it right there. I didn't even have to enter the time. It already knows that I was going to be doing it on 5 o'clock. Okay? Yes, Russell.
Is there any way to time block? So you had that whole entire list come down that says the whole entire day. Say you have your meeting from 5 to 7, and you don't want, and you have like from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, but you have another meeting coming in, and you don't want it to interfere with that.
Okay, great. What do you guys think? Can you do that? Sure you can. So watch this. Okay, we're getting into an admin level, okay? So ideally, we were just plunking some stuff into our calendar, okay? And it was pretty fast and pretty easy. Well, what it was is we created a little default for you, and basically it's right here under this master time templates. If you have the admin permission, you'll have this link. Go ahead and click on it for a minute. And currently we have one just called default template, which is basically, can I even just throw something at the calendar in general, okay? Now watch this. If I click on edit, this is very basic. Look at all these things that are not turned on, okay? Like you can tweak out elements of time to huge levels, okay? We called it basic template. Let's just call it quick note. Just quick note, and I'm just going to leave it just as is. Update that template, okay? Watch this. If I wanted to go bigger and I wanted to say, okay, now I'm going to be spanning, I'm going to say a new one, and I'm going to actually call this one appointments. Does that make sense, how we would say that? I want a start time, I want an end time, and I want this. See how I added a few more pieces? Then I'm going to come down, and I'm going to kind of probably say, you know what, I probably also want to assign this to a single person. I want the color, and I want it to automatically be pink, and I don't want any of these, and go for it. I know I'm skipping over a ton, but I want to show you the difference. Technically, this appointments is different than a quick note now, okay? What I want to show you is just the add screen, okay? Watch, just so you can see it. Quick note, boom, that's all that I get, okay? Boom, boom, boom. If I go back here and I say, what does the appointment look like? I now have more information, including the end time, okay? So you're virtually able to add the different pieces as you need them. So what you do is we call it master time templates. And the way that we like to think of it is I'm going to show you a small little graphic. This is one that my daughter drew. You might get a kick out of this. Right here, I'm going to actually go to, I believe it's this help file. Okay, if it's not, it's the next one. Okay, sorry, I'm clicking on the wrong thing, going too fast. So right here, I'm going to click on this little help file. We like to think of this as a cookie cutter, okay? So the master time template is like the cookie cutter. However, once you have the master set up, I can use it again and again and again and again and again, okay, to end up making your things. Master time templates, these are elements of time that you're going to end up making over and over again. But you have to have a master time template that tells you how to play. Okay, so your question was, can I schedule it from here to here? The answer is yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back just a couple more just to kind of get you in a spot where we're like, okay, yes, I know where we're at. I'm going to say add a new element of time. And all of a sudden, because I have more than one, it's going to prompt me for, okay, which kind or which type did you want? I'm going to go in appointment because my quick notes didn't have an end time at all. Okay, I'm going to say continue, and I'm going to say my first appointment. And let's say that it was on, which date did we want to do that on? 22nd?
26.
Okay, it doesn't make a bit of difference. 26th, let's go like this. From when to when, Russell?
3 to 4.
3 to 4 p.m.? Okay, so I'm just going to be easy and go like this, add an hour. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it, okay? And then I'm going to say add the element of time. It's going to automatically fill it in, so it technically did that. If I go to my daily time slot now on that particular day, I technically have 17, 17, 17. I blocked it in for a certain amount of time, okay? See how it goes by half an hours here? Watch this. I'm never going to leave this little thing called the time homepage, but I'm going to show my search criteria, and I'm going to say, you know what, I actually wanted to see that in 15-minute increments, and why don't I just do it from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then I'm going to come down here and click it. Okay, so every 15 minutes, and here's my appointment. It will automatically span depending on how you're changing your. I never left this page. I'm still on Elements of Time homepage, actually. It's just a different view. Here's your different views. Do you want to see calendar? Do you want to see time slot? Do you want to see grouped, or do you want to see details? Okay. I'm currently on a single day. Like if I was literally checking my schedule, I could expand this out. So right now I'm just showing one spot. Let me do this before I just go, whoa, where are we at? We're going to return to the main Elements of Time homepage, the default. Here's what we have entered into our pieces, okay? So basically I can see a number of different little things kind of going on and what's happening. Here's the appointment that we were talking about, my first appointment, 3 to 4, okay? Now if I wanted to see all of these different pieces in a time slot view, I could actually technically come right here and say, can you show me week 4? This is going to show me every single day exactly which pieces are where and how they're adding up according to my different pieces of the pie. Okay? if I was like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of information, I just want to see Friday. I can click on Friday, and all of a sudden it limits my view. I still am on the exact same page. I'm just literally kind of saying, which view do I want? Which view do I want? Yes?
So what if I set my appointment for tomorrow and I didn't put a time slot? I just put tomorrow. Can you go in and edit from your calendar to change it?
Absolutely, absolutely. So which page do you want me to get back to?
It's
Or you can even tell me an ID number and we'll change it.
okay.
So once again, once you enter it, you have to think Adilas. If you put it in, I should probably be able to edit it. Do you happen to have the ID number?
Hold on a second.
Actually, what's the date?
It's number 7.
It's number 7? So I'll go time 7, go. So I'm using my quick search now. Search Adilas training in Denver, and
So I want it to be 9 to 5.
okay, no problem. Watch this. You hit edit main,
Oh, okay.
okay? And so currently this is technically under a thing called quick note, which didn't actually have an ending time, the time frame, okay? Because we told it we're using the star cookie cutter, okay? We needed to use the heart cookie cutter to get both the start and the end date type thing, okay?
And so can you change that, or do you have to just take this and not make it inactive and do another one?
Basically, you would make this inactive, kind of make it disappear, and then just do another one. You could copy and paste some of your pieces,
Okay.
but you didn't have enough pieces, and you basically just chose the wrong cookie cutter, okay? And eventually, as you get going further and further, you'll be able to be like, what else do I want to do to these particular cookie cutters, okay? That's your master templates. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, it was before you had different appointments and all that, so.
Yeah, so basically your notes still would kind of tell you some of what you're doing here.
Okay.
9 to 5, it still might get the job that you're like, okay, next time I'm going to use the this, or whatever, if you didn't want to delete it. But if you did want to delete it, you could technically just say, flip it to an inactive status, hide, don't use that thing. Okay.
So Adilas just, when we're all inputting all these, it just starts numbering, and there's an ID starting at 1, it'll go
Correct,
to
correct.
10
Yep.
million.
Yep. One to many. Throw it in. Basically what you have to start thinking of is the 1 is a time slot. Your many is how many things you want to pack in your day in that particular time, and then you can double book, you can triple book, you can do whatever you want to do. There's no limits. It's basically, it's your tool, and you just kind of stick it in how you need it.
But I mean, these IDs are numbered. The ID number
Oh, yeah.
is
Yes,
just
yes.
how they're just piling on top of each other.
Correct. So what I wanted to show you here, I'm going to go to the Elements of Time homepage, and I'm currently viewing the entire month, all of July, okay? So we've got a bunch of little things in there showing on the calendar. I'm not going to do anything else except for change these things, and I want you to see the exact same date. So I'm currently in the calendar mode, and we've got some different little random things all over the place, okay? If I click time slot, it'll start on week 1, and it'll show me all of my different little pieces of the puzzle, okay? So I didn't have anything in week 1 starting on 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, et cetera, okay? But if I kept going, next, eventually we would get to the part where we actually had information starting to pile in. Here's that first little blast that we did, that we all were basically in that 2 o'clock area, 2:26. We all hit it at the same time, okay? So basically we never have left this page yet, just to kind of get us back to where we're going, to make sure we have the criteria correct. Custom date range is still this. I was currently on the time slot view. Let's go back to the grouped view just so you can kind of see what we're looking at. So here it shows me all of my dates. All of a sudden on the 17th I have a bunch of different ones, including assigned to different people. Okay, they all happen to be quick notes. And then as I come down, I have some quick notes. And then down here I actually have some templates. So this is more of a grouped look at what's going on. Okay, you're still on the same exact page. It's just a different look at your data. And you can drill down into it. If you were on, hey, what do we really have here? Click. This is called details. Okay, so you're physically looking at some of your pieces. Yes, Russell?
I was just going to say, so you can use this kind of almost in a sense like Google Calendar, so that your users, or maybe if you have people that can set up their own time for your employees, really good employees, set up their own time, they can come into the calendar and say, I'm going to be here and here this week or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, so what you do is you basically go like this. What is your need? What do you want to call it? Great. Like, let's do it. Like, say, for instance, you wanted a tickler date, Dan. Here's what I would do if I was going to do a tickler date. I would say, I need a new cookie cutter, okay? And it looks like somebody else Okay, this lunch with golf with movie stars, that's a single item. You were almost at the.
That's a template. I have lunch and golf with movie stars.
Okay.
So
okay,
I
cool,
need
cool.
to have that set up multiple times.
Great, Joe. Then that is a cookie cutter. My bad. I don't do golf and movie stars, but that's great. So here's what I would do. So Dan, let's say we're going to do a tickler, okay? I'd say I need a new cookie cutter, and I'm going to call it tickler. Tickler dates, whatever it is. You know what? I don't even care about time. All I want is just a reminder. Like, I want this so simple, it's not even funny. Okay? I don't want any times. I might not even want a color. Okay? I don't even want a color, and I don't want any of this, and I don't want any of this. Ready, go. Okay? So now, if I actually did the tickler dates, watch this. So say I say, using a quick search, time new, I could be anywhere. Hey, I just need a tickler date. Okay? Boom. And this is going to be, look how simple this is right here, Dan. You could literally be like, call Brandon. You know, whatever you wanted to do. Add that element to time. So on 7/17, okay, it's going to be there. The cool thing, watch this, if I go to daily time slots, because you don't even have a time assigned, it puts it up here in the generals. It's just kind of like, hey, you had something that did hit the calendar, but it's not even down here with all the rest of our pieces. It's up here in the generals. Okay, so like, you could technically set it up for however much you wanted to. Say we actually went like this, reset this page, so we're looking at it, and say we know that it's coming on the 31st. I've got to get my sales tax in here. I could literally go like this, click here or here if I wanted to specify it. I'm going to click here and say tickler, and it could be this simple. Sales tax, the end. Okay. What that basically did is if I go back to my monthly calendar, it physically hit on that date. It doesn't have a start time. It doesn't have anything. It's just a general, but like that could be as quick as you wanted to as far as getting it into your piece of the pie. Okay.
Simple is good.
Yep. So what I wanted to show you is this. We've just kind of done some basic things. I actually want to go see what Joe assigned on his little cookie cutter, the golf with movie stars. So I'm going to click on edit. So he's got start and okay. He skipped targets. He skipped priorities. He skipped done switches. Doesn't look like he needs to invoice it. Doesn't look like he's trying to assign it to a single user or a customer or a vendor or a location. Like, there's tons and tons of different things you can do. If you wanted to, you can, okay, it looks like he does have an action status log that he could do. He could do sub dates and times. He could do sub comments. He could do all kinds of stuff. But depending on your needs, you basically try to match your needs with what you call your cookie cutter. Okay? It's called functions and types. And then you can create your own.
Classes, events, what's the sub date then?
Okay, a sub date and time would be something like this. Say something starts on a certain date and time. Say you're starting a project. Hey, I started a project for Joe, okay? But then instead of like saying, oh man, I don't want to have to keep adding a new calendar and every single time I work on Joe's project, I could actually do a sub date and time where I start saying, let me go find Joe's project, and then I'm going to say, hey, I work from here to here. 2 more hours. Oh, 2 more hours. Oh, 2 more hours. Oh, 2 more hours. But it's still holding it in that one master thing called Joe's job or whatever it is. Okay?